All right, diving deep today into the world of branding, specifically for electrical engineers. We've got this electrical engineering brand style guide someone sent over, and wow, it is dense. But whether you're running a business or just curious about branding, this deep dive should spark some ideas.
It's interesting, this guide really gets that in electrical engineering. Branding goes beyond just looking good. It's about trust, expertise, all of that.
So less about circuits, more about connecting with people. I like that. But let's back up. What does it even mean to have a brand persona in this field?
It's like giving your business a personality. If you had to describe it at a party, who would it be? The crazy innovator pushing the limits of sustainable tech? Or the rock-solid, always reliable problem solver everyone calls in a crisis? That's your persona.
So Tesla versus like the trusted electrician down the street. But how does that translate into actually building a brand? Seems a bit abstract.
It gets very practical. The guide's mission statement example focuses on providing safe, efficient, innovative solutions. If you're that reliable problem solver, that fits. But if you're all about cutting edge, maybe you tweak it to highlight pushing the boundaries of, say, sustainable tech.
So persona guides everything, even wording. That makes sense. What about a vision statement? Where does that fit in?
Here they talk about becoming the leading electrical engineering company known for sustainable and technologically advanced solutions. Ambitious? But it fits that innovator persona perfectly.
The ambition's there for sure, but why so much emphasis on sustainability? Just a buzzword or something deeper?
In this industry, it's more than a buzzword. Electrical engineering is all about energy, resources, environmental impact. Weaving in sustainability positions a company as solving not just electrical problems, but bigger picture stuff too.
Like they're not wiring a building, they're wiring a better future.
Nice. The guide gets specific about brand values too. Reliability, innovation, sustainability, customer-centric approach. Seems obvious, but why are these so crucial, especially for electrical engineering?
Because they hit on what people worry about with electrical stuff. You need to know the work's safe, reliable, especially in your home or business. Innovation shows you're keeping up with tech, which changes constantly. And with everyone talking about climate change, sustainability becomes a huge selling point.
Not just saying you're good, but proving it by addressing what people care about. Clever. Moving from theory to visuals now, how do you create a look that reflects all this?
Starts with the logo. This guide is super specific. Primary logos, variations, clear space, minimum size, even what you can't do with it. They really push consistency.
We've all seen logos that look wrong, stretched out, or in the wrong colors. It's jarring. But why so many rules about, like, how much space around a logo? Think of it this way. Each time someone sees your logo, it's reinforcing your brand. If it's inconsistent, the message gets messed up. It's like trying to read a sentence with jumbled letters. The guide examples show how that consistency builds a strong visual identity.
So it's a visual language, clear and recognizable.
Right.
Got it. Now color, how do you pick the right palette to convey the persona, the values, all that?
They get into color psychology, which is always fun. Blue for trust. Professionalism makes sense given how specialized electrical work is. Then orange adds energy, bit of innovation, showing your forward thinking.
Blue and orange, the main players. But they also mention gray and green. Why not keep it simple?
It's about nuance. Blue builds trust but can be cold. Orange warms it up, but too much is overwhelming. Gray adds stability, sophistication. And green obviously ties back to that sustainability focus, which we know is big here.
So it's not just throwing colors together, it's how they interact, balance each other, create a whole experience, like a visual symphony or something. Now, onto typography. Fonts matter, I get that, but why are they so crucial for branding?
Because typography is visual language too. The guide uses Montserrat bold for headings, Lato regular for body text. Montserrat, bold and confident, like an expert. Lato is clean, easy to read, makes the info accessible.
Interesting, those choices reflect the persona. Montserrat taking charge, Lato making complex stuff clear. But it's more than just looking good, right?
Definitely. Consistency again. A playful font wouldn't fit electrical engineering. It undermined that expertise. Right, fonts reinforce the message with every word. It's a visual experience matching what the brand's saying.
Words and visuals speaking the same language. Love it.
So we've got the foundation, the look, but what about the words themselves? How do you create a voice that actually resonates?
This guide talks a lot about tone of voice, knowing your audience. You wouldn't talk to a homeowner the same way you would a big company, right?
Like dressing for the occasion, making sure your communication style fits. Any specific examples of how this works for electrical engineers? They give some tagline examples. Powering the future, safely. that hits on innovation and reliability, key in this field. Then there's innovative electrical solutions trusted by you, expertise, trust, and customer focus, all in one. Pretty catchy.
I can picture those on a website, business card, all that. Memorable and clear. But can't forget the digital world. Social media is huge for branding these days.
Totally. The guide talks about hashtags, hashtag electrical engineering, hashtag reliable power, hashtag energy solutions, reaching the right people. But it goes deeper, stressing the need to create engaging content that shows your expertise and personality.
So not just jargon, but stories, insights, building relationships online. But how do you balance that professional side with being approachable on social media? Seems tricky.
It's about finding the right balance, sharing behind-the-scenes stuff, highlighting your team, explaining complex topics in a way anyone can get. That all makes you more relatable.
So much to think about. We've built the foundation, the look, the voice. It's a lot. But hold on tight, because in part 2, we'll explore how to bring all this together to make a brand that really shines. All right, we're back. We've talked persona, visuals, voice. The building blocks are there, but how do you take all that and actually create a brand that works in the real world?
This guide's big on what they call touch points. Every time someone interacts with your brand, website, business card, whatever, it should reinforce that identity we've been building.
So it's not enough to just have a good logo. It's got to be consistent everywhere. But where should someone focus their energy for the biggest impact?
These days, your website's like your storefront. They stress a clean, modern design, brand colors, all that. But it goes deeper. Easy to use, clear calls to action, and of course that SEO thing everyone's always talking about.
Right. What's the point of a pretty website if nobody can find it? We touched on SEO earlier, but how does that actually work for an electrical engineering company?
Think like your clients. What are they searching for online? They suggest keywords like residential electrical services, or commercial wiring, or sustainable energy solutions, stuff like that. Then you got to work those keywords into your website content naturally, the page titles, all that behind-the-scenes stuff.
So no keyword stuffing, just understanding what people are looking for and making sure your website pops up. But it's not just about words, right? Visuals matter too.
Huge. Photos and videos? The guide has some cool examples. Before and after shots of projects showing the transformation, or videos that show off your skills, like a complex wiring job or a time-lapse of solar panels going up.
It's like giving people a peek behind the curtain, showing the skill and detail that goes into it. But what about those who prefer something tangible? Do brochures and flyers still matter in the digital age?
Oh, they still have their place, and this guide gets creative. Like business cards, they say, think beyond just contact info. Imagine a texture that feels like electrical wiring, or a glow-in-the-dark element for a lighting design company.
That's clever, turning something ordinary into a memorable brand experience. But it's not just about the design, right? What should those brochures actually say?
Tell your story. Don't just list services. Share a case study, show how you solved the problem for a client, or an infographic explaining energy-efficient lighting.
Showing your expertise, giving potential clients something valuable makes sense, but keeping all this consistent can feel overwhelming. There's so much to manage.
And that's why they stress having a system. Remember that brand style guide? It's not just a document. It's a tool that guides every decision you make about your brand.
So clear rules for everything, logo usage, colors, fonts. But how do you make sure everyone in the company actually follows those rules?
They recommend a brand toolkit, templates for presentations, email signatures, social media stuff, even letterheads. That way everyone's using the same visual language, presenting a consistent image.
Makes it easy to stay on brand, even if you're not a design expert. But let's be real, keeping it consistent over time is tough, especially as a business grows and changes. How do you stay on top of it all?
It takes work. Regularly check your website, marketing materials, social media, make sure they still fit the guidelines. And it's not just the visuals, make sure your message is still on point. You're still talking to the right people, and those core values are still coming through.
Like tending a garden? Can't just plant the seeds and walk away. Gotta nurture, prune, adapt to the seasons.
Exactly. And sometimes, even the best garden needs a total makeover. That's where rebranding comes in. Sometimes your brand just isn't working anymore. Maybe your clients have changed, or your services, or it just feels outdated.
So how do you know when it's time for a rebrand? What are the red flags?
We give some clues. Not attracting the right clients, marketing isn't working, having to constantly explain what you do, or maybe your competitors are pulling ahead and you're fading into the background.
It's about being honest with yourself, knowing when change is needed, and being brave enough to embrace it. But rebranding can be daunting. Where do you even start?
This guide says, be strategic. Go back to basics. Mission, vision, values, target audience. It's like hitting reset and rebuilding even stronger or aligned with your goals.
So more than just a new logo, it's rethinking who you are and what you stand for.
Exactly. From there, you build a whole new strategy. Visuals, message, online presence, everything. It's a lot, but it can be super rewarding.
The possibilities are exciting. This deep dive has been amazing, from scratch to maintenance, even knowing when to hit refresh. But we're not done yet.
More to come.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll explore how to make your brand truly unforgettable. Storytelling, thought leadership, those little extras that make all the difference. Don't go anywhere. Back for the final round.
I gotta say, all this talk about branding is pretty inspiring.
It's a fascinating world, right? But all this, the persona, the visuals, the voice, it all builds to this. How do you actually stand out? How do you make people remember you? That's the big question. The guide keeps saying it's not enough to just be good. You have to tell people about it in a way that grabs their attention. But electrical engineering, it's not exactly known for being flashy or exciting. How do you make it interesting?
This guide had a surprising answer. Storytelling. It actually encourages electrical engineers to think like storytellers.
Storytelling. Okay, I get that it's powerful, but in electrical engineering, I mean, it's not like writing a novel about wiring a building.
No, but it's about finding the human element in what you do.
Hmm.
Every client has a problem, a need. A family wants to save energy, a business owner needs a safer workspace. And you, the electrical engineer, you're the hero who uses your expertise to solve it. Create that happy ending.
So instead of listing services, you're weaving them into a story, showing, not telling, how you make a difference. But how do you actually do that?
They suggest case studies. Say you helped a restaurant install a fancy new energy system. Don't just say, we installed it. Tell the story. You worked with the owner, understood their needs, designed a custom solution, and bam, they saved money, helped the environment, everyone wins.
So it's a story with characters, a problem, a solution, much more interesting than just specs. But storytelling isn't everything, right? What about this thought leadership thing? Sounds kind of intimidating.
This guide breaks it down nicely. It's not about being the loudest, it's about sharing what you know in a way that helps people. What questions do your clients always ask? Confused about lighting options? Unsure about solar? Create content, blogs, videos, even social media posts that answers those questions clearly.
You become the go-to expert, someone who not only knows the stuff, but can explain it so anyone gets it. But it's not just creating the content, right? It's getting it out there.
Exactly. They talk about a multi-channel approach. Share that blog on social media, email your video, guest blog on industry sites, get your name and your knowledge out there, build that reputation.
It's all coming together now. But honestly, this branding stuff, it can feel like a never-ending to-do list. How do you stay motivated when there's so much else going on?
They get that. It's a marathon, not a sprint. They say celebrate the little wins. A nice comment on social media, a client who found you through your website. Those are big deals, keep you going.
Easy to forget to celebrate those when you're busy. Anything else?
Stay inspired. Go to industry events, talk to other pros, read about branding and marketing. Keep learning, keep that passion alive.
Like recharging your batteries, remembering why you do this, that's good advice. But sometimes you just need extra help, you know? What if you're stuck?
Don't be afraid to ask for help. A marketing consultant, a branding agency, even a mentor. Fresh eyes, good advice can take you to that next level.
So it's not a solo mission, it's building a team. This whole deep dive has been eye-opening. Branding is way more than just a logo. It's about knowing your audience, telling your story, showing what you can do, building those connections.
It's about making your brand real, engaging, memorable.
And whether you're an electrical engineer with a big company or just starting out, this guide gives you the tools to make your brand stand out. It's about consistency, being clear, and really connecting with people. So go out there, make your mark, and thanks for joining us on this electrifying deep dive.